Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Tyson Pedro in action at UFC 284 in Perth against Modestas Bukauskas. This one should be a belter. He's had a little bit of adversity getting out of the UFC, going back to Cage Warriors, and now he's on a bit of a redemption path, it seems. Do you like this matchup? Your first opponent pulled out, right? And now you got Modestas.
Yeah. To be honest, this is a better fight for the fans anyway. He looks like he's a good striker, looks fast. It's going to be fun.
What does he bring to the table that you got to worry about, do you reckon?
He looks like he's got a fast 1-2. His right hand, I've got to be wary of that. Tall, athletic, looks fairly strong, not underestimating him at all. 1 week is like, you never know. He could have been training for another fight. He could have been like in camp. So I'm assuming that he's coming at his very best. And I'm just going to beat his best.
How good do you feel on the back of not just 2 wins, but 2 finishes, having been through it before that?
It's always good to get a good run going, you know. Momentum's a factor in not just MMA and everything. Once you get a bit of momentum, it's always keeps you strong. It lets me know that I'm doing the right thing, and he's got to worry about what I'm bringing to the table.
What's it like fighting in Oz, fighting in Perth, not having to travel over to Vegas?
Yeah, well, I came from New Zealand, so it was still a bit of a messy flight, but it's good to be on home soil. The airport was cool, being in the hotels, you know, the Aussie fans, they all show love, so it's always good.
Where were you training at CKB for this one?
Yeah, it was.
How many camps have you done there?
2 full camps, and I've done 2 one test. I did a 1 tester camp, then I did one where I blew up my knee again, so I've been there 4 times.
What's the vibe like over there at the moment? You got, I was speaking to Shane Young earlier, and he just said like it just attracts kind of good people, and even if you come in there, you are a good person after a while, if that makes sense. I don't know, just kind of not arseholes, basically. Does that make sense?
Yeah. They weed out the people that don't belong there, and that comes from the leadership, the team captains, the obviously the head coaches. They've created an environment where it keeps out the people that aren't going to be suited for the intensity and also the quality of training, or not so much quality because you can keep up with that, but just the whole team environment. They expect the same thing from the champion as they do from the guys starting out.
Who are the big characters over there? Like, who's the biggest leaders in that gym?
Dan Hangman would probably be the captain. They call him the captain for a reason. He's there every session. He's leading the way in everything that it does. So he would probably be one of the main leaders training wise for the MMA team. Like, they've got the boxing team, they've got the kickboxing team, it's a very big gym, jiu-jitsu team.
Who've your main guys been inspiring for this one?
So Navajo Sterling, who's the King of Ring champion, just getting into MMA as well. Carlos has been a massive help. Carlos Ulberg, Brogan Anderson, Cam Newton, Cam Rolson, Rousen, and the Balkan Bear, who's in my corner. So he's another King of the Ring fighter.
Is it true that Ulberg has some of the most savage kicks in the game?
They'd be up there because that motherfucker booted the out of my. Oh, sorry, sorry for the swearing. He booted the crap out of my leg the first camp I did in Wollongong. He came and I couldn't walk properly for a few days. It was so swollen, just above the knee. And it's not like they're not big pounding kicks. Like, you know, when Ty kicks you, it feels like your leg's gonna break, but it's so fast and snappy that it's like it shocks the muscle into swelling up. So he's figured that out.
How intrigued are you by the state of the division right now? Because when you were coming up, it was just John Jones, and now everything's changed. Yeah. Yuri shook things up. Jamal, first Contender Series champion, I think, in history. Yeah. It's kind of seems like a fun time to be looking at that top of the division, and you're on your way there with a couple more wins, right?
Yeah, it's a good division to be part of if you want to get to the top fast, for sure. I think like this end of the year, I'd definitely be close to that top 10. So if everything keeps going smooth as it is, that's the plan, and anything can happen, but just keep grinding away, and it's definitely changing a lot up there. But there's some definite hard fights in front of me.
Who's the best fighter in the division right now? Is it the man holding the belt or is it the man who's injured?
It's hard to say. Like, MMA maths doesn't really math. So, you know, Yuri could be the better fighter, but Jamal could knock him out. So, who's the better fighter?
Who's the most interesting fighter in the division as far as you're concerned?
Hmm. It was for me. It was Glover because he's just like this guy that's like what 45 was he? And he's just out there beating all these young kids up. So yeah, that was the most interesting for me. Uh, Yuri's obviously very unorthodox, and Jamal just has it's like a sort of sneaky sort of striking style. It's very interesting.
What do you make of Johnny Walker's kind of path of redemption? Because he was
Yeah.
really being pushed so hard, and maybe you can empathize a bit with that while he was still coming up, and then went through a tough spell, and looks like he's got things back together again.
Yeah, well, you know, who knows if it could be for one more fight. It's just crazy how MMA works. Like look at Dominic Reyes. Uh, I hope nothing but the best. It's funny you mentioned him. He was actually the first guy that came to my mind when you said who's an interesting fighter. So I just thought there was some better names there. But Johnny Walker was the first name that came to my mind. He's it's crazy because he's is so explosive and powerful, and it's good to see him back up there. But he's got some hard fights in front of him as well.
You've been in the game for what, a decade now? Congratulations. What's the
Yeah.
biggest change nowadays from your first fight?
Uh, patience, patience. Which is a bit ironic because my fights have only been lasting one round so far. But I'm definitely a more calm fighter, calm under fire sort of fighter, and just my fight IQ's just improved a lot as I've grown like I've become a man, I guess, in this time off. So I've grown as a fighter as well.
Are you taking it fight at a time, or like you sat with your team and thought, right, how are we going to get towards that belt in 3 years? Where are we going to be? Have you sort of done a little bit of a map of where you
Yeah.
want to be?
I've got a rough idea, and I'll see how it plays out. You don't want to map it too much because life always has a way of kicking you in the balls. So I've got to like sort of mapped out a little bit of the direction I want to go, and but mainly concentrating on the fight in front of me, not getting too far ahead of me. That's one thing that's been really enjoyable this camp. I've been really able to focus, be right in the present. So I haven't even been looking past training sessions at the moment, let alone fights.
You've been pretty close to Volk, right? Having him right there in the gym at times, and his coach. Like we've got the number one pound for pound against the two number pound for pound. I mean, is this going to be a classic for the ages? Do you reckon? Like, how does it go?
I hope so because sometimes when these fights are so good on paper, sometimes they don't turn out. But I hope it's one of the best fights ever because I'd love to be a part of that history. Um, uh, as well, I think it's a bit of a sleeper card. Like a lot of people aren't that excited about it because of all the Aussies on it. Like I've seen some of the people, but usually these sleeper cards are the ones that come out with the bangers. So uh, I hope that happens and Volk gets the win, keeps it at home.
Going to finish off with a little quick fire, if that's all right with you. Favorite post weigh-in meal?
Uh, It usually it's Italian, but my dietitian last time got me eating Chick-fil-A, and that was hectic. I love the two Chick-fil-A burgers. That was the best. So if I could keep doing that, unfortunately we don't have that in Perth, but
Which UFC star would you most like to get drunk with?
that's a hard one because I've pretty much done it already with all the people I'd want to. But yeah, I don't know. Uh, no idea, no idea. I couldn't even think of someone because I've drank with most of the people that I've wanted to already.
It'd be interesting to go on a night out with peak John Jones, perhaps.
Like I said, I've been out with all the people that I wanted to.
Fair play. What is the best combat sports movie ever?
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm a big fan of Kumite. Is that Bloodsport, the Kumite?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
80s.
I was a big fan of that one. Yep.
One championship or Bellator?
That's that's a rude question. Nah, I don't know. I like one because of the head kicks, but I probably prefer not to get kicked in the head, so Bellator.
Saenchai or buakaw?
Gotta go with saenchai. Legend.
It's like Federer versus Nadal, right?
Yeah.
What's one rule change that you'd love to see in the UFC?
Oh, nut shots.
What? Let them.
Nah, no, I'm not sure. Maybe nah, nah, I'm not sure. I'm pretty happy with the rules at the moment, just for my safety. Um, yeah, I'm pretty happy with them at the moment. They're sweet. Oh, maybe IVs to help with to help with the weight cuts. That'll probably be it.
Sponsors, maybe. What?
Oh, actually, yeah. Sorry, no, definitely. That's not it. Yeah, no, I'll take that.
Which UFC fighter talks the most nonsense?
Ty,
Kai.
Bam, Bam.
Tai Tuivasa. Fair play. What's the silliest fight in UFC history?
Silliest fight. Not sure. Nick Diaz is going to be up there when he laid down. But there's been some ridiculous fights but that was just like a cool moment that I can remember.
That was cool. Which celebrity could actually handle themselves inside the octagon?
Surely John Wick can do something.
Yeah, it might need a veterans category, but yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
but yeah, why not? And what's your favorite drink? Drink West, I imagine.
Drink West. Good call. You got me because I almost threw out something else. It's been a long day of interviews. I almost threw out something else.
If you weren't a fighter, what would you be?
I think something to do with music. Hey, yeah, I love I'm big on music, so probably something to do with music. Maybe a DJ.
Headphones. And I don't know if I asked you this before in a previous interview, but who would your dream fight be, past or present, in any weight class?
And only because I loved him so much and grew up watching him. Fedor's got to be up there, bro. Like I'd love to fight Fedor. That's like, and you know what? Because it was so cool. Like Shogun was up there, and I got to fight Shogun. That's still like one of the biggest memories. So, but Fedor would definitely be up there.
Yeah, epic. Yeah, the Shogun one was special, mate. Thanks so much. I hope
Thank
that
you.
was a little bit more fun than getting asked the same
Yeah,
thing
something
over and
different.
over
Yeah,
again.
yeah, for sure.
Try
Thank you,
not to
brother.
ask the
Appreciate
same
you.
thing. Cheers, man.